I'm happy. I'm in a very weird mood today. I got a lot done at the house and the office and stuff, so I'm really happy to be here. Thank you very much for coming. All right, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Sean, like this. Oh, yeah.
Thank you. So now that I have your attention, we're going to begin the show. I'm supposed to give this a few seconds before I say the next line.
That's right, let everybody settle.
All right. Is everybody settled? There's some rustling in the room. Greetings, everyone. I'm Sam Hanwich, and I will be your announcer this evening. People of Longmont, tonight is a very special night. Thank you for joining us. Before we get to the show, it's my duty to read the following official disclaimer.
Most important part of the show,
Please.
only thing requested by left hand.
Pay attention. This show is generally intended for adult audiences. Not adult-ish, but of adult age audiences. The views and opinions stated in this show by Andy Eppler, or his guests, are not necessarily, and almost definitely not, the opinions of Left Hand Brewing Company, the city of Longmont, the community at large, or really anyone except Mr. Eppler himself. Andy Eppler is his own problem. Any complaints about the content of the show should be directed toward him. Thank you. And now, live from Left Hand Brewing Company in Longmont, Colorado, it's Longmont Tonight! Here's your host, Andy Eppler! Thank you, Sean. You're a great American. Yes, tonight is the Super Bowl, so there are very few of us here live at the show. I was gonna do maybe some bits and what have you, but I might kind of let those go, I'm not really a sports expert. I don't even know who's playing in the Super Bowl. Football teams, I imagine. And since there's no crowd here tonight to laugh at what I'm sure will be excellent material that I will improv for you soon, I'm gonna put in laughter in the studio in post when I produce this episode. So I'm gonna grace myself with lots of really good feedback from the audience, like this. And there we go, I'll be laughing. They're still laughing at this point. I know, because I mixed all these episodes. Please, ladies and gentlemen, please let me get to the next joke. Jesus Christ. Sean, do you know who's playing in the Super Bowl? The Rams and the Patriots.
The Rams and the Patriots?
God, I hope that's right.
Okay, I'm going for the Rams. Does anybody else have a feeling? Should we vote on it? Let's vote. I vote for the Rams. Should win the Super Bowl. Anybody else got to vote at all? I'm the only one. But what about the other team? Do you guys vote for the other team? Is that how it's voting? Okay, so if I'm the only one voting, I vote for the Rams. And I'm going to put my psychic energy toward the Rams winning. Because I like the idea of an animal mascot. I don't like these mascots that are like ideas. Like, it's like the war on terror. It's like, you can't fight terror. You shouldn't name your team after an emotion like patriotism or whatever. It's not really a fucking fair team name. I'm gonna do this comedy bit, even though there's nobody here. I just feel it coming on. I'm gonna do it for you. I'm really frustrated by the Patriots. It's an unfair team name. It's like naming your team. It's just hard to root against the Patriots. It's hard to be like, tonight we can all be like, fuck you, Rams, and nobody's gonna be like, oh, why would you say that about Rams and shit? But if you say, fuck you, the Patriots, pieces of shit or whatever, they'll be like, what are you, like a communist or whatever? You hate America? You're against the Patriots? It's an unfair team name. It's like naming your team the single mothers or something. If they want you to be in the stand, be like, fuck you, the single mothers or whatever. It's impossible to root against. It makes me feel like a piece of shit. It's unfair, and I think they should not be able to name their team something like that I can't actively root against. If you can't say fuck you ... your team name, it's an unfair team name. That's what I think. And what if my team is called like the Generous Spirits or whatever? You'd be like, fuck you, the Generous Spirits of Thanksgiving or whatever, or Christmas Past or what the fuck ever. It's an unfair team name. And I hate the Super Bowl because they don't play with a round ball. I think that really throws off the whole process of sporting. So I I only approve of sports with round balls, and I don't approve of, the demolition derby, the concussion derby that is, the NFL. Good for them, man. I would totally rattle my brain for that paycheck for sure. Peter, you're in the audience tonight. Good to see you, sir. You're a guest on our show. What a coincidence that you're here. Peter, if somebody said, for $1 million, can I give you 50 micro concussions? Micro concussions, but it's 50 of them, and it's $1 million.
No.
Peter says no. Wrong decision. Made the wrong decision. $1 million seems like a lot more once you've had the concussions, I think. Let's.
I don't get that offer.
No. All right, Sean. I want to give you 35 micro concussions over a year. Evenly spaced over a year, and it's $20,000.
No. You had me at $1 million when I was considering it.
Oh, you would do it at $1 million?
7 figures.
How's the joke go?
Concussion every 10 days.
Yeah, it's a concussion every 10 days or so, yeah.
Do that, yeah.
So we know what you are. We just have to find your price. That's what we're saying. All right, let's get our first guest on the stage here.
Ladies and gentlemen, he is a songwriter, a filmmaker, a recording artist, a special effects expert, and a local sweetheart. Please welcome Peter Garland.
Yeah! That's Mr. Peter Garland. Peter Garland is...
Thank you.
Thank you, my brother, for being on this stupid show with me, and for not only being on this stupid show with me, but for doing so many different stupid things with me.
It's fun. It's fun. If I had to do stupid things, I'm glad it's with you.
I'm glad that it doesn't occur to you that you don't have to do stupid things. I love that. That works great for my business model. And my business, of course, being you take intangible things like an idea and you turn it into more intangible things called not having any fucking money. That's my whole business.
It's working well.
Thank you very much. Dearest Peter, when did we meet? Do you remember?
It had to be on some sort of open mic thing. It might have been at Sky. Or maybe earlier, I don't know.
I don't know. I'm guessing it must have been 5 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago.
I'd say 4.
Yeah?
Yeah. Moved here in 2013, in the end of the year, November. So I just started hitting the scene early 14.
And when I first met you, you were a piano player and a songwriter and a great singer, and you were showing up at open mics, playing your songs, and putting out albums. You put out an album called
Lost and Found.
Oh my God! Lost and Found's a great album, and had, where can the people still listen to that album? Is it on the Spotify's?
No, actually, I haven't put it up there. I don't know what I'm doing with the whole music thing.
It's a local delicacy.
Yeah, that's right.
So we've seen music from you in the live format, and you've recorded your own music, and you make films, and you shoot commercials, and you're getting into virtual reality.
That's going to be really fun this year. I got a whole 360 rig, both visually 360 degrees as well as sound. So you can hear things from every direction. And that's really where I think we're going. We're going to either, like right here and now, we have this audio podcast that everyone's listening to. So video, yeah, it's everywhere. So I think video itself is going to kind of be ripped in two. And people sitting watching videos is, and I'm giving away my future predictions, so take note.
Just nobody listen to this next part.
Right. So audio is awesome because you can consume it while you're doing something else. You don't have to sit there and watch, even though, that's fun. So I think the world is either going to go in both directions. Full podcast like audio, so they can just have it on while they're going, or put me all the way in. I want to jump in. I want to really experience it. So I think I'm very late to the game to go in any sort of audio direction because we have some wonderful things, including this and all the other sound podcasts that are out there. But I'm going to be ahead of the curve in the 360 arena. So that's where I'm going.
It's a really cool place for an artist to work. I know that you're a great storyteller as well with your art. You just wrote and released your first novel.
Yeah, Saving the Moon, thank you.
Called Saving the Moon, a classic local piece of art. And you're a storyteller, you're making all these virtual reality things. Here's a good question that I want to ask you, Peter. If you were given the opportunity to write a story for a character in the modern age, and then be put into virtual reality, have your memory wiped, and then live the life of the person that you wrote the story of, would you do that? Would that be a good game that you'd want to play?
How long do I have to write it? How do you think this out?
You have to write like the main story beats, and then you live out the rest.
Maybe I'm doing that right now.
Ooh.
That's an interesting concept. All like Matrix stuff.
Fucking A, the Matrix. I would do it. I think I totally did it.
Sweet.
I wrote Sean's life over there.
Yeah.
So far, so good, man.
So far, so good?
Yeah.
I'm a great writer, that's why, dog.
Great plot twists.
Yeah, lots of good plot twists.
Really did a good one with that.
Interesting character piece, you know. Peter, what is the ultimate virtual reality movie for you? Is it like a thing where like the person's being taken through the story, or is it would you like to wipe people's memories when they watch your art?
No, really. I think that it's video games right now are way ahead of movies for VR, especially because when you're in an experience, you want to be able to move freely, and with video games, you can control where you move throughout the scene. That's going to be that's going to be the breakthrough level in movie making, where the camera can be anywhere. And they actually have these setups that there are cameras that can film. It's almost like in photography they have this thing called RAW as a format. It just takes all the data, and then you can say, after the fact, what the white balance is, what all that stuff is. They have these crazy setups now where in this room they can just reposition at will after the fact. Wow. Your point of view, and once that is mainstream, you're going to be able to walk through the scene instead of just wherever that 360 camera is. So that's going to be the fully immersive thing.
When they do that, you know what movie they should remake is Clue.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
That would be awesome.
I'd watch the fuck out of that.
That would be super awesome.
You know what I'm saying? Colonel Mustard, I've always been suspicious of that piece of shit.
Yeah, you could like stalk him.
Yeah. I always would guess Colonel Mustard straight away.
Not Professor Plum?
Professor Plum, he's a learned man.
He's sneaky that way.
Yeah. All right, well, stay right there. I'm going to bring up another filmmaker.
Ladies and gentlemen, she's a singer-songwriter, a documentary filmmaker, whose films have been shown in numerous festivals. Please welcome Sarah Exner.
Yeah! Oh, Sarah.
Hey, Sarah.
So good to see you, dear.
Hey guys, great to see you.
Oh my God. I'm so glad you came out tonight, man. Not a football fan?
I did watch.
Did you?
I watched all the way up until the lead singer of Maroon 5 ripped his shirt off and threw it into the crowd.
It's all downhill after that.
Wardrobe malfunction?
It's like accidentally, obviously.
It's true, it happened.
Oh, yeah. See, this is, I didn't realize they had such good programming on the Super Bowl. I thought it was all just mean boys pushing each other and shit.
We provide good alternatives.
Yeah, that's right. We are the Happy Yes Show. There are no concussions at this show. None that happened during the show, you know.
None so far.
You could say like a lot of this show is probably the outgrowth of some kind of brain problem that I'm having long term, but I don't feel bad about it, and that's part of the disease, you know. Sarah,
I've always wanted to do this into a microphone. Thanks.
yeah, we have all day for that kind of thing, my friend. You are a filmmaker. The first time I saw one of your flicks, it was about a horse and a troubled youth, and it made me cry. Why did you make me cry?
Yeah, it's called A Horse Named Rio. And I filmed it in New Mexico at a boarding school for kids, and they work with horses there.
And when you say work with horses, do they teach the horses to dance, or teach them to fight to the death, or what do they teach the horses? Do horses teach the people?
Yeah,
Horse
first and
things?
foremost, it would be ballet.
Yeah, it'd be ballet, obviously. Because they don't really get special shoes. You know, horses do, of course. It's one of the few animals that wears shoes regularly. Dogs on the internet being probably second. Just me.
That crowd is going awesome.
The crowd's going nuts about that last one. Do you hear that canned crowd later? They sound amazing in post. A horse named Rio, and what's the name of the young boy in that one?
His name is Simon.
Simon.
And he's 13 when we start filming. Having a lot of trouble, and he's about to have to get kicked out of his school. And then there's a horse, a 6-year-old horse named Rio, who has been to trainer after trainer and is just failing, and they don't know what to do with him either. So the film documents the story of putting Simon and Rio together, the relationship that they create, and the healing that comes from that relationship.
It's a really amazing film, and it's amazing. I don't spend a lot of time around horses for whatever reason, I guess. My landlady won't let me have one, and every time I've been around a horse, they always seem like very relaxed, very like look you in the eyes, don't fuck with me, I won't fuck with you kind of characters. You must have spent a lot more time around horses than I have, especially shooting that. Do you feel like horses are like mystically significant beings full of light? Is that basically what horses are?
Well said, my friend.
Because that's what I walked out of the movie thinking is like, oh, well, horses are magic. And, you know, if you got mean people, you could just introduce them to a horse, and the horse would be like, don't be so mean. And the guy would be like, oh my God, it never occurred to me. I shouldn't be mean and shit. You know, the movie is a lot more serious than that, of course.
I mean, it's true. I know people that are, there's a whole thing about like horse therapy, people on all sorts of paths of their journey connecting with this animal, and it's super special. I saw the movie too, it's amazing. So
Thanks.
How many horses do you think you need to cure Hitler?
4.
Is it like 16 horses? Because like there was like this troubled youth in the movie who was having a rough time. People couldn't reach him, but the horse could. One horse. So that's 1-to-1. Troubled youth, 1 horse. Hitler, though, extra troubled.
Drawn and quartered, 4 horses.
And we're talking about an adult Hitler, not baby Hitler. Unfair to judge baby Hitler. Baby Hitler hadn't yet done anything wrong. You can't go back in time and kill baby Hitler, for instance. Baby Hitler's just fine. Grown-up Hitler's the problem. If we get like 35 reasonably nice horses, and we put Hitler on the farm with these horses, you think Hitler goes like, the Jews are okay, yeah? That's just an idea. It's a shame we can't run the experiment. What was your second movie, the next movie you just put out about?
That one is called Fire and Sand.
Fire and Sand, and what is that about?
I filmed that one last July and August on the big island of Hawaii.
Hawaii?
And that was while the big eruption of the volcano Kilauea was happening.
You went to an island to see a volcano eruption.
More or less, yeah.
Now, I'm no expert on any of these things, but if my friends are like, you know, there's this place you could go get trapped on with fire, I'm going, you know, man. But then again, you can't get trapped on an island with fire. You're surrounded by water. You just put the fire out, right? Isn't that how it goes? Is that what the islands basically are? A bunch of lava that got put out? Essentially how islands work?
Yeah, the island is 14 acres bigger than it was before the eruption.
Really? So
Yeah.
this is like, oh my God, this is Lex Luthor's plan from the recent Return of Superman, when he puts the kryptonite in the water and he's growing his own pieces of property or whatever. Holy shit. Okay, is it possible that a comic book character caused that explosion, the volcano?
Light bulb.
Okay. Now we're all on the same page. It's a bigger island now, 14 acres more?
Yeah, it's about 14 acres, new land, and new beaches that formed.
So people are really worried about, the water's rising, what have you, and all of us, drowning in, the ocean, whatever, from the polar caps melting, what have you. Could it be that if we could just get, a super volcano to erupt right on time, that perhaps we could actually just grow as a nation instead of being covered by water? Is that a thing? Is this, should I be Lex Luthor? Can I make a lot of money doing this?
You and Elon Musk and Lex Luthor should hang out.
Well,
Terraform a planet.
am I a super villain or a superhero? Both?
Point of view.
It's all point of view.
History will decide for you.
Sarah, if I paid you $1 million billion, okay?
How many zeros is that?
It's several zeros.
Okay.
It's more than
I hear
that.
you.
Yeah, good. It's just a lot of random money, whatever. But the part of the thing was you had to live with the clone of Hitler and run the horse experiment we were talking about earlier. Would you do that movie? It takes a month to film. You get 6 months of being on this ranch with Hitler being like, you should chill out and hang with this horse. And he's like, nine, I can see horse and shit.
What age is Hitler?
Hitler is a spry 35.
I'm speechless.
I think there's no point in curing the clone of Hitler. The clone of Hitler might be trying to spend the whole time explaining that he's different now and shit. Like he's not a racist anymore. In a modern context, you would think. Maybe not. Just an idea for your next film. Do you want to talk about an idea for your next film, or don't want to reveal that publicly? Perhaps is it the Hitler thing? Did I blow it?
You did not.
Okay.
It is not that.
Because you're saving up for that many horses? Because it's going to be 35, 40 horses to cure Hitler. Easily. Because he's pretty bad. More or less to cure Jeffrey Dahmer. More horses, right? You're talking about, I don't know, because he's eating cereal out of people's brains.
Yeah, I don't want him to eat the horses.
Is that worse than Hitler? I don't know how you even weigh these things, but it's going to be a lot of horses. You're going to need a lot of horses and one of those dogs that runs around them.
Let's talk about art.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks, Peter.
Sarah, why did you choose to get into film?
I love telling stories, and I felt like film, especially documentary film, was a way that I could, really be able to tap into the heart of a story and be able to share it with others.
Peter, same question.
Star Wars.
Say more.
Okay, so, I'm a Star Wars kid. I grew up in that whole thing, and that's actually, I wanted to know how to do that. Like, how did they make all that happen? So, when I was, maybe 12, I started to learn animation, and it got all, So, like, I love to tell like the fantastical stories, you know, versus like documentary style. I wanna tell whoppers, you know, some really good ones. So I love to make, you know, if I can fool you, if I can create something on screen that makes you wonder, just like with good wonder, like wow, you know, that's what I get jazzed doing. Yeah. Can't see anymore. Yeah. Yes.
You eat your heart out, Lucas. Sound and shit.
That's right. So yeah, that's definitely my formative thing. Yeah.
Peter, you are legally able to fly a drone.
I am.
Is there an application for that to watch, you know, lava explode or chase horses around?
Yes to both with caveats.
Yeah.
You know.
Because horses eat drones. I don't know if you knew that.
They do.
They do.
The flying Pegasus horses definitely eat
But if
drones.
you can get a shot of it.
That's right.
One last question. What are you? This is kind of a basic, kind of just checking in friendship style question, I guess. What are you excited about this year? What are you doing this year with your art? Either one. I'll ask both of you.
So, I really started my company Brave Night Media for real last year as an LLC. My goal this year.
They're going crazy for you, Peter.
Is to be in the black instead of the red. So that is my goal. I want to be working. And that means helping other people as well as doing my own passion projects and stupid things with you. I'm looking forward to more of that.
Me too. What are you looking forward to this year there, sir?
Well, I also started my LLC last year, Little Feather Films. So it's looking like we're going to have some projects this year that might involve getting to travel to faraway lands.
Wow.
So without giving too much away, which has always been a goal of mine, to be able to work and travel at the same time.
Good for you.
And I'm really excited about songwriting and continuing to explore that side of myself. And I'm going to go back to Rocky Mountain Song School again this summer. So I'm just trying to write songs and get ready for that.
You had a fucking wild time at that last time,
Indeed,
right?
I did.
Do you want to tell that story real quick? We have time. I want to hear about it.
I was super lucky. I got awarded a scholarship from an awesome nonprofit in Longmont called Soundbridge Music. And they gave me a new artist scholarship for somebody who has never made a CD or just getting started. So I'm just a little baby artist, but that's okay. Yeah, it's awesome. I love it.
Because I saw like pictures of you on Facebook, like on stage, playing for 1 billion people. Is that about right?
Yeah, well, we're Song School. We're at the Planet Bluegrass in Lyons, and everybody gets the chance to play an original song on the Wildflower stage.
Really?
It's really special, and almost everybody
really
comes
awesome.
out to watch and support, really listen.
That's amazing. I've never been to song school. Peter, you've been to song school, right?
I have. It's exactly. It's something that, having been once, I'm coming back. It's one of these. It's mystical. It's wonderful. I mean, think of 300 people kumbaya around the fire at night or something. You know, it's music and community, and I know how big you are in community, and this will just broaden that. It's wonderful, the connections and the friendships and everything.
One day I intend to go to song school and learn to song. But for now, I just host these little silly shows. Thank you very much for coming on.
Thanks, Andy.
Listen to that crowd, they're going nuts for it. They fucking love it.